station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
It's a beautiful day in the Bay Area. The sky is blue, the grass is green, and the Twins hope today they can finally beat the Oakland A's after losing to Oakland 12 straight times. And, of course, that necessarily means the A's have won the first 3 games of this 4-game series. And we welcome you to the Coliseum here in Oakland. Dick Bramer along with Jack Morris. 12 wins in a row for Oakland over Minnesota. And within that, what's really impressive is how complete and thorough the beatdown has been over those 12 games.
Yeah, every aspect of the game, pitching, defense, especially offense. It seems like the Twins are trailing in the early innings almost every single game. It's just one of those deals that a team goes through, and today Phil Hughes gets the ball with an opportunity to stop the bleeding and end this nonsense.
The average of 8.5 runs for Oakland in the 12 games is remarkable, and so the Twins have, they feel, one of their most reliable starting pitchers in Phil Hughes, hoping to end this long losing streak and send the Twins to Houston on a winning note.
Well, as a pitcher, you've got to relish in these opportunities. You're playing a great team. Acknowledge the fact that the Oakland A's are the best team in baseball. You're going to have to be on top of your game. But after watching 3 straight losses, you should be chomping at the bit to grab the ball and say, I can stop this. I feel good about my stuff. And Phil Hughes has been the ace of this team all year long. We feel good that he can do the job today, and let's see what happens.
The Twins have faced 3 all-star starting pitchers in the first 3 games. That's not the case today. They'll take their swings against Jason Hamill when we come back. Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Jeep. Hurry in and get a great deal during the Jeep Summer Clearance event. Twins were swept by the A's in a 4-game series here in September of last year, hoping to avoid a sweep here today. And the Twins go to Houston after the game today to open up a 3-game series against the Astros. Still having hopes of putting together a winning month of August. Right now they're 3-5 in August. And Ron Gardenhire would like to believe that Phil Hughes will pitch a good ball game here today. That has been one of many reasons why this winning streak for Oakland has reached 12 games. Not many good starts at all. Here's the Menards batting order for the Twins. Danny Santana leading off. Brian Dozier, then Kurt Suzuki hitting third. Trevor Plouffe not in the lineup. We'll give you that explanation here shortly. Kenny Vargas, Josh Willingham, Chris Parmelee, Eduardo Nunez, Eduardo Escobar, and Jordan Schaefer.
Twins will be facing right-hander Jason Hamill. He's making his 21st start of the year. He's won his last start with the Oakland A's. That was his first win, 1-4 with a 7.15 ERA. And I guess if there's a weak link in the rotation right now, it would be Hamill. His command has been an issue, his confidence. So we'll see if the Twins can score early, get on the board, and see if Phil Hughes can settle right in quickly.
Northland Ford defense for the A's. An all-star in left, Brandon Moss. Former Twin Sam Fold in center. Josh Reddick in right. An all-star at third in Donaldson. Sogard and Callaspo up the middle. Vogt at first, and John Jaso behind the plate. And the Twins did face John Lester, Scott Kazmir, and Jeff Samardzija in the first 3 games. Not exactly an easy draw, and in the minds of some people, the best Oakland pitcher, at least before the acquisitions, is Sonny Gray. The Twins will skip him or miss him. He'll start tomorrow for Oakland, and the Twins will take their swings against the newly acquired Hamill.
We talked about Sonny Gray just a moment ago. The fact that this guy didn't make the All-Star team with a 12-5 record. He lost his last start, probably the worst start he's had in quite some time. But he's been a good one, so the Twins might have dodged a bullet with him. He was the July pitcher of the month for the American League. There's Sonny Gray. You'll watch.
And for good reason. 5-0 with a 1.03 ERA. And this wealth of starting pitching that the A's have is one of the reasons why they felt comfortable letting Tommy Milone go to the Twins in the Sam Fold trade. And Milone will start the opener tomorrow in Houston. Since we left the air, you and I, last night, the Twins traded Kevin Correa to the Dodgers. And Milone will take Correa's spot in the rotation tomorrow against the Astros. Some business to conduct here today. The Twins need a win. Danny Santana hit the ball hard 4 times last night, and he takes up and away ball 1.
First pitch.
Santana, Dozier, and Suzuki in the Twins first.
We may get a good indication on what kind of day Jason Hamill will have early in this inning, whether he can keep the ball down. He's had success when he's down, but he's been up with a lot of his breaking balls.
Giving up a lot of first inning home runs. Pitch at the belt, and it's 1-2. Santana thought it was high. Santana, a couple of hits last night. Had one of his better days at the plate. Right there, right at the top level. Here's a pop-up short center. Sogard will fight the sun. He'll give way to Sam Fold. Different challenge for fielders in a day game here because the sun is very high in the sky. You can see the shadows almost directly under the shoulders of the players here. So any high pop-up is an issue. 1 down.
We got on the team bus from San Francisco this morning in the fog, and you wondered if it was going to burn off, but it seems to always do that here in Oakland.
Here's a drive to left off the bat of Dozier. And that ball is gone. A home run on the first pitch, and it's another first inning home run allowed by Jason Hamill.
And another first inning home run for Brian Dozier. We'll see the pitch here shortly. I'm sure it was a fastball up to him. That's where he really enjoys swinging. Here's the pitch. You can see up there about letter high, middle half in, right in his wheelhouse. Brian's so good at being able to keep his bat on top of those high fastballs in.
With the Cubs and now the A's, 16 home runs allowed by Hamill, and half of them have been hit in the first inning. Ball one.
Well, Tom Kelly always preached for the Minnesota Twins and all his pitchers. Be ready for that first pitch. Be ready for that first inning. Whatever you need to do to be prepared. Pretend it's the fifth inning, but be ready.
So much focus, check swing, no swing, so much focus on the end of a game, but the Twins fans have witnessed it plenty of times over the last 3.5 years. You can lose a game in the first inning, even though there's 3 hours of baseball to be played after it. 2-0 to Suzuki. This one hit to right field, almost right at Reddick. 2 down.
To your point, Dick, I think that for me anyway, there's no more importance than any out. Every out's important. You got to have 27 in a 9-inning game. The glory and the glamour is always in the last 3 for the closers, but like you just mentioned, you can lose a game just as easy on any one of those outs.
And Vargas will hit through, away from, or over a pull shift by the A's. Ball one. What makes their pull shift interesting, there's not a fourth outfielder. The second baseman, Callaspo, is right on the cut of the outfield grass. So many times you'll see a pull shift. The ball lashed foul down the left field line into the seats. You'll see the second baseman playing in short right field. Vargas has had a good series here. Last couple of games with 4 hits.
And the ones that he has hit have been absolute alineas.
Here's a drive to center. Fold going back. And he makes the catch short of the warning track. Dozier hitting his 20th home run of the year in the first inning. And Phil Hughes has an early lead. Much Phil Hughes hoping that it will matter. Bob Melvin has his team with the best record in the major leagues. And here is his Menards batting order for the final game between these two teams. Coco Crisp, the designated hitter. Sam Cole, Josh Donaldson, Brandon Moss, Stephen Vogt, Josh Reddick, John Jaso, Alberto Callaspo, and Eric Sogard.
They're going to see the right-hander Phil Hughes, the ace of the Twins staff. He's making his 24th start of the year. You see the numbers there for Phil Hughes. He's kind of getting back on track. He had a little bit of a hiccup in there for a while, I think, but still pounding that strike zone with fastballs. We'll see if he throws a few more breaking balls early and gets these Oakland A's hitters off balance.
Crisp takes strike one. Hughes faced the A's back on April 9th at Target Field. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, which is a season high for Hughes. And walks have been terrible issue for the Twins over the last couple of games. Kyle Gibson issued too many. Certainly Trevor May and Samuel DeDuno did last night as well. 1-1.
Not such an issue for this guy, though. He pounds that strike zone.
Weak pop-up. Dozier in the outfield grass. Squeezes it one away. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. And the Twins are hoping for a healthy game today, too. They're very thin. Schaefer in left, Santana in center, Parmalee in right. Nunez at third for Plouffe. Marnie will have an update on Trevor here in a moment or two. Escobar, Dozier up the middle, Vargas at first, and Suzuki behind the plate. One down, and Sam Fuld, the batter. And Hughes misses ball one.
You mentioned Gardy's kind of a thin bench. Arcia's got a little bit of a sore back. Plouffe had x-rays. Just informed by Dustin Morse of the Twins front office that he had the x-rays on his foot and ankle area. They came back negative. He'll be day to day. Just a bad bruise.
1-1 to Fuld. Just missing the inside corner. Twins walked 11 men last night. All year long, Hughes has only walked 14. Hughes thought he had the inside corner on that pitch. Lance Barnett, the umpire, or Barrett, I should say. 2-2. Donaldson will follow. Just off the outside corner, full count. Hughes just missing the corners. Trevor May missed by a lot last night. Chop foul. Hughes, as we showed you earlier, 7 hits over 6 innings. Gave up a home run for the only run he allowed to the Padres. Picked up win number 11 on the year. Another 3-2 to Fuld. And that's down the line. Schaefer does a nice job firing the ball in. We've seen Schaefer show a good arm. He was running as a left-handed fielder. It's kind of an awkward throw, but he got to the ball and held the speedy Fuld to a single. And that'll bring up Donaldson.
The Mall of America scouting report for Phil Hughes is, can he change speeds early in the game in his eye level, meaning the fastballs, he can spot those anywhere, but that breaking ball changes the eye level, keeps the ball down. You got to keep these Oakland A's off balance. They've shown that they will go up searching for that first pitch fastball, but Phil Hughes actually likes that. He knows that they're aggressive hitters, and he feels like if he can spot his fastball, that even though they're a fastball hitting team, he can get his fly balls and ground balls.
First pitch hacked by Donaldson, a foul ball. 1 strike. 14 ground ball double plays for Hughes on the season.
I think when we've seen Phil at his best, he has mixed in an occasional breaking ball and off-speed pitch. And it just gives him a different look. It lets the hitters know that he does have it, that he will throw it, and you can't always be searching for that number one. Little cutter right there.
1-1. There goes Fuld. And Suzuki's throw not nearly in time. Pitch a strike, and Fuld steals second. And the tying run is in scoring position.
I think Kurt Suzuki was a little bit fooled by that. He just didn't react to Fuld taking a good jump, which we've seen Sammy do a lot of. He really stole it on Hughes, but Suzuki just wasn't ready to throw that ball.
1-2. Called, third strike.
Great location of that cutter right there. Just a little bit of a break. Donaldson probably thought it was down. But a big out right there for Phil Hughes. See just a little break at the end.
We've seen him use that pitch to left-handed batters, and we called it then a backdoor cutter. You call this one the front door cutter, I guess. Getting the dangerous Donaldson for out number 2. And that'll bring up Moss. Last night when the Twins jumped out in front 1-0, the lead didn't last through the bottom of the inning. Trevor May walked the tying run in the bottom of the first. A strike to Moss. Fouled back, 2 strikes. Phil Hughes asked to be the stopper. It has been a long run, nearly 2 years, and Oakland has not just won, but dominated the Twins. Twins won the first game of the year last year, and they haven't won since. 2 strikes to the cleanup hitter. Up and in. Kind of hard to tell with your goatee there, but I thought I saw a little bit of a smile after that pitch. 2 strikes and a high, hard fastball.
Well, you've got to do what you have to do as a pitcher, and that ball wasn't anywhere close to Brandon Moss,
but it stood him up.
It changes his eye angle. That's right.
And that one hit him. So now first and second. 2 down, and that'll bring up Stephen Vogt. Vogt with a couple of home runs in this series already.
Well, just a tad bit more in than the previous pitch, and Brandon Moss just takes it off the elbow, walks down to first base.
So the A's threatening a single, a stolen base, a hit batter, but there are 2 out. And a first pitch strike. You can hear the drum beat and the chant of the fans in right field. I believe in Stephen Vogt. Hit a home run in the first game of the series. Another one yesterday in the series. 4 for 10, 4 runs scored, 4 runs batted in. Hit a home run in his second at bat. So you could say, if you wanted to, and I don't, it's been vote early and vote often in this 4-game series. Deep to right. Just foul. Foul by about as much as Josh Willingham's was the other night in the 9th inning.
If you're a pitcher, you just have to look at that as a loud strike, and you just escaped a little bit of a disaster. It's early in this ball game, but Phil Hughes has to recognize you hit a guy, you get a base hit by your former teammate, there's 2 runners on. You've got to make a quality pitch here and get this team back in the dugout. Sometimes easier said than done, but Phil's a pro. He knows what he has to do.
Just off the plate. 2-2. So Hughes had 2 strikes on Moss, missed inside, then hit him. Now 2 strikes on Vogt with 2 balls. Just off the outside edge. Lance Barrett called that outside. I trust Fox tracks. There it is. Well off the plate.
Suzuki did a great job of framing that pitch, made it look better than it actually was.
Runners take off, and the pitch left to right field, a base hit, and it's a tie game. Parmalee's throw coming through, not in time. Vogt again, driving in his 5th run, and it's 1 apiece. Moss scampering to third.
He gets a fastball. This time he just leaves it out on the outer half, about belt high. Stephen Vogt hit that same pitch for a home run the other night. He's just good at getting those arms out. All those strong guys love to extend those arms.
Josh Reddick is with his 25th pitch. Chop foul. Reddick just 2 for 12 in the series, scored a couple of runs. Moss at third, Vogt at first. Drive to center. Santana back. And that ends it. But the A's, as they did last night, score the tying run in the bottom of the first, this time against Phil Hughes.
With a short bench this afternoon, Oswaldo Arcia and Trevor Plouffe are both hurt. Arcia has the sore back. He said he felt it in his final 2 at-bats on Friday, but he was going to hit in the cage today and hopefully be ready to go tomorrow. Trevor Plouffe fouled a ball off of his foot last night. He said it's nothing that he hasn't done 100 times before. Walked it off, stayed in the game, but it was really sore today. He was limping around the clubhouse. X-rays were negative on Plouffe. Said he was wearing a shin guard, but he did not have the foot attachment on last night in the first inning. Then he put it on. He said he's going to wear it from here on out. But Dick and Jack, today it's a short bench for Ron Gardenhire and the Twins.
Thank you, Marty. If something were to happen, I mean, Eric Fryer's the only bench player. He's the backup catcher. No one is going to make a move with him unless someone does get hurt. And if it happens to be in the outfield, Suzuki probably would be moved to the affected position on the field, and Fryer would catch. Here's a ball fouled back.
One of the transactions that transpired here just the other day was Chris Colabello, which would have been an extra bat in the dugout for Gardy, was sent back to Rochester to make room for yesterday's starting pitcher, Trevor May.
1-2 to Willingham. Popped up down the right field line. Vogt in foul ground, makes the catch, staring right up into the sun. 1 down.
You got to stay with it here. That ball is right up in the sun. Somehow, as a position player, you've got to keep the shades on, get the glove up. They call it a high sky, and I've always laughed at that term. Isn't the sky always high?
You could see him ducking away from the sun as soon as he tracked the ball down in the vicinity of his glove. One down. Here's Parmalee. A high fly hit to deep right center field. Fold is back and right in front of the fence, makes the catch. Every out has been made in the air. 2 quick outs here in the second. Time for you to tweet a photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
Number 9, Eduardo Nunez.
Eduardo Nunez will bat. Jack Morris. The Tigers with David Price had a 5-0 lead. And Toronto's just tied it in the 9th inning against the Tiger bullpen. Jabba Chamberlain gave up the tying run in the 9th. Blue Jays still batting.
Tigers have issues with that bullpen, that's for sure.
A 5-0 lead with Price on the mound. That had certainly the hopes were that Price would be able to take that game at least through 8. Phil Koch allowed a couple of inherited runners in. And now the tying run in the 9th, and the Blue Jays are still batting. Meanwhile, Kansas City is leading San Francisco 7-1. 2-1 to Nunez. Up the middle. Sogard scoops it up, fires, and it's a 1-2-3 second inning for Jason Hammel. One game here, and it'll be the bottom third of the A's lineup. Jaso, Callaspo, and Sogard.
Bottom third of the lineup really caused some damage in yesterday's game. Sogard walked 4 times. His first 4 at bats.
Well, up to him today. Asked Sogard whether he was aware of. No 9th place batters ever walked 5 times in a game. He says, "Yeah, I'm pretty intimidating, aren't I?" There's a busted bat and a roller to second. Dozier to Vargas, 1 away. And that'll bring up Callaspo.
If you're Brian Dozier, you want to be ready for Jason Jaso. He's hit the ball, it seems like, this whole series. Every time he's been up right at Dozier.
He was first out of the second inning on just 2 pitches. He, as you saw, threw 26 pitches to get through the first. He's kind of used a 3-player mix in the middle infield with Lowry and Sogard and Callaspo. Sogard playing short. We've seen him at second base in this series as well. Strike two.
Sogard's the one guy that Bob Melvin has played in this whole series. More of a second baseman by nature, I think.
1-2.
Lowry would be your everyday shortstop, but he's been battling a little soreness here and there. So today, anyway, Sogard will play short. Cayaspo at second.
To center. And Santana back and over. 2 away. And that will bring up Sogard. But first, Target Field has become the top choice for families throughout Twins territory for all kinds of special occasions and commemorations. Groups of 25 or more qualify for special ticket discounts and can reserve certain seats without a deposit. Organize your family group outing at Target Field. Find out more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS to schedule a special night at a Twins game with your family. Nice big homestand coming up for the Twins after this road trip, and it's a homestand against teams within the division: Kansas City, Cleveland, and Detroit. And the Twins have played the American League Central even up this year.
Well, it's a division that we thought, anyway, it would be a runaway for the Tigers, but Kansas City has played good baseball as of late. Detroit certainly has its issues with its bullpen. And if Detroit loses, Kansas City wins today, it'll be a half-game lead for Detroit. Meanwhile, Cleveland is kind of hanging around 500 baseball.
You know, the Twins have played 500 ball this year against Cleveland, Detroit, and Kansas City, the 3 teams in the homestand, and then they've actually got a winning record against Chicago, hoping to catch the White Sox yet. White Sox up the coast in Seattle. 2-2 to the number 9 batter. And a called third strike. Sogard walked 4 times last night. Called out his first time up here tonight. We head to the third in a 1-1 game. Link, your link to what's next. By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Brian Dozier's first inning home run gave the Twins a brief lead. A's tied it now to the 3rd inning, and Eduardo Escobar with a big swing and a miss, 1 strike. Escobar, then Jordan Schaefer and Danny Santana facing Jason Hamill. It has been a very good year for Eduardo Escobar, getting a chance to play more than he's ever been given the chance before, and he's responded by playing steadily in the field and keeping his batting average now in the 270s and some extra base pop. He has 86 hits and 29 doubles. He's among the league leaders in 2 base hits. And he strikes out here to start the 3rd inning. Strikeout hunger at Feed My Starving Children. You can pack meals at the Coon Rapids and Eagan locations between now and August 31st, or the Chanhassen location between now and September 12th. And while you're there, register for a chance to win admission for 2 to a Twins game and ride in style on the Fox Sports North Fan Express. 1 down. Here's Jordan Schaefer. Stung the ball last night. Down and in, ball 1. Schaefer now in his 3rd organization, hoping for a chance he didn't get either in Houston or Atlanta. 1-1. Schaefer's shown the Twins already some speed. Good arm in the outfield. There's a bunt right back to the mound. Bobbled. And Schaefer will reach on an error. It couldn't have been a more convenient play for Jason Hamill, and he botched it.
His reaction time to the ball after that was way too slow. To see it again here, you see that Schaefer just bunts it right by him. He boots it, but his pickup and delivery to first baseman Stephen Vogt way too slow. Schaefer's got a little speed, and he's showing that here for the Twins.
So not a well-placed bunt at all, but he's at first and might be tempted to steal second here. Here is Santana. Pitch out. One thing that through this dreadful 12-game stretch with Oakland, we've seen the A's haven't made many mistakes, either in the pitching department, on the bases, or in the field. And when they have, the Twins haven't capitalized. And we'll see if they can take advantage of this extra out and extra base runner in the 3rd inning. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
I guess you could say just the opposite about the A's. They seem to know how to capitalize on mistakes.
Against
a lot
the
of
Twins,
the ball,
they sure
based
do.
on balls for sure.
1-1 to Santana. And Schaefer chased back to the bag. Schaefer already 3 steals. For the Twins. 15 for 17 on the season, counting his time with the Braves. We mentioned it when he first came to the Twins, but he's in his career at a very good stolen base percentage, success rate. There he goes. Didn't get a particularly good jump, and Santana flared it foul. Schaefer went in with a head-first slide. Count 1-2 to Santana. So reacted the way that he did, and another one lifted foul. He was in position to catch it and throw it, but the ball never got there.
Well, I think what he was doing is ducking out of the way of Danny Santana's backswing. Bat kind of whipped back around. He knew that by standing up, he's putting his head and helmet right in the way of the backswing.
Another 1-2 to Santana. Golf foul. Mentioned it last night. Santana now with 218 at bats, and you're getting a larger sample size. Get a little bit better idea as to what he's capable of down the road. Schaefer goes, swing and a miss, and Schaefer steals second. Santana strikes out, but Schaefer advances into scoring position, 2 away.
Now batting, number 2.
That'll bring
Brian
up Dozier.
Dozier.
Carsoup.com trivia question: who was the last Minnesota Twin to hit 20 home runs and steal 20 bases in a season? Dozier still hasn't done it. He needs to steal another base. There was a year when Mr. Carew hit 20 home runs. It may take you back that far. Torrey Hunter, maybe. Up and in. Well, you wrote down your answer. Show me something. Put it out there.
I got to think about it, because the stolen base part is the one that's making me think twice.
A strike, 1-1. Dozier clubbed a home run, his 20th. Put the Twins in front 1-0. Up and in, 2-1.
That's the pitch that Hamels had trouble with there. It comes squirting out of his fingers. He's not finishing off that breaking ball out in front. His release point's way too quick, and he leaves it hanging up there.
Called strike, 2-2.
You saw the adjustment that he made between the two pitches. He was able to get that one more out in front, and the result was much better. Although, if you're a pitcher, you still want to get it down a little bit more than that. But Dozier takes another look. He's had 2 of them now. The third one might be another hit.
Breaking ball. Dozier strikes out. The Twins can't take advantage of the Hamel error. It's still 1 apiece. One game.
Top of the first inning, Brian Dozier gets a fastball up and in, and he hits it over the left field wall, put the Twins on top 1-0. And then Stephen Vogt, after Sam Fuld gets a base hit, drives a ball to right field, scoring Sam Fuld. That ties it up. That was in the bottom of the first inning, and that's what we are right now. Bottom of the third, 1-1.
And the A's will send up the top of their batting order. Coco Crisp, Sam Fuld, Josh Donaldson. Fly ball right center field. Parmalee giving way to Santana on the warning track. A long run for the center fielder. And he called off Parmalee at the last instant. One quick out in the third.
That kind of surprised you as much as it did me. I didn't think that ball had that much hang time, but it really did carry. Watch this long run for Santana. Parmalee gives way because he knows that, well, center fielder must have talked to him. That's good communication.
Seems to me that was the type of ball that Santana might not have caught when he first was put out there. All this talk about him coming in to play shortstop, and I think we're all anxious to see that. But to give the young man credit, he has gotten better reads and better breaks out there in the outfield and has become a much better center fielder.
Well, I think it would be the natural reaction for somebody that hasn't played outfield is when you get closing in on the wall. You're running hard, and how do you know when to hold up and go for it? You're watching a baseball that's flying in a different direction, and there's a wall coming up. And that's got to be the toughest thing for an outfielder to adjust to. But he's done a great job of it. And he has become the Twin center fielder because of options for Gardy.
Check swing. Did he go? Strike three. Fuld is gone on strikes. 2 down.
Third strikeout now for Phil Hughes. Take another look at this one.
And now batting, number 20, Josh
Big, slow curveball. Sammy just couldn't lay off of.
Two down. And that'll bring up Donaldson. Foul back. Donaldson again trying to tee off on that first pitch belt high fastball.
You just can't help but like this kid, Josh Donaldson, the way he goes about his business. He's an all-star defender at third base, but very aggressive hitter. He's getting smarter as he grows in Major League Baseball experience.
Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Kind of a throwback type guy. He's a real, well, he's just got passion for the game, and he shows it. He's not one of those guys that just goes about the game every day like it's a business. You can tell that he shows his emotion a little bit.
Tapper to third. Nunez sets and fires. And pair of 1-2-3 innings after a rough first for Phil Hughes. get underway, want to pass along a happy 80th birthday wish to Carl Metoxen of Maple Grove, Minnesota. Carl, a loyal Twins fan. We'll see if the Twins can pull off a victory on his 80th birthday. Suzuki, Vargas, and Willingham in the fourth. Suzuki with a fly ball to right, his first time up. Strike one. Suzuki's hit just about everywhere in the lineup, and he has not let where he hits in the lineup impact his approach at the plate. The reason he's hitting over 300 this year, and has for most of the year, he just doesn't try to do too much at the plate. Uses the whole field. 1-1. Chopped off the plate. Donaldson, gloves, and nice stretch at first by Vogt, one away.
Very good play right there by the third base all-star. Going to have to charge this ball to his right. Suzuki doesn't run all that great, but it's still a bang-bang play. He's got to field it on the run, throw a strike. Nice play.
Here is Vargas. Ball one. Vargas with a fly to center, deep center, to end the first inning. Fouled back, 1-1. Vargas 34 at bats, 11 strikeouts, a double, a home run, 7 runs batted in. And a foul back, 1-2. Mentioned that this series in particular would be a good challenge for Santana and Vargas. Santana last night with 4 well hit balls and a couple of hits. And Vargas, as we showed you, has 4 hits the last 2 ball games. Has hit 3 balls right on the screws for base hits. Infield hit for the other hit.
I think it's fair to say that these two guys have held their own against a very good pitching staff.
Down and away, and Jaso held it for Lance Barrett to get a second look at, but it was still ball 3. Fox Tracks placed it just off the down and away corner. Right down the middle, and Vargas called out on strikes, 2 down.
One thing I've learned, that if you're a rookie hitter, you never walk out of the batter's box pretending that you know what the pitch was. It could have been the same pitch, and I think that's what Kenny Vargas thought it was, about exactly. But Jaso did a good job of acting on both those pitches and gets that second one for a called third strike.
And now Willingham. Ball 1.
It's the 4th strikeout now for Jason Hamill.
3 of them have come in the last 4 at bats. 2-0. Two and 1. 50 pitches for Hamill. 32 strikes. Three and 1. Parmalee on deck.
Top of the 4th inning with 2 outs. It's kind of turning into a pitcher's duel already. Phil Hughes has given up just a pair of hits. Hamill just the 1 hit, at the home run by Dozier.
And Willingham takes a 2-out walk. And before Parmalee steps in. Target Field suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 96. You've got the Premier Suites, the flexible event suites, the very spacious Skyline Suites. Coming to a Twins game is always fun. You can make it a special experience by getting a private suite for an upcoming game. First step in doing that, going to twinsbaseball.com or calling 800-33-TWINS. Parmalee with a warning track fly ball to center field, hauled in by Sam Fuld, his first time up. Down low, ball one. Mentioned the game is evolving into a pitcher's duel. The Twins would take that. The 3-0 loss here on Thursday stands out as the best pitched ball game the Twins have had in this Oakland losing streak. They've averaged 8.5 runs scored in the 12 straight wins.
Well, one thing the Twins haven't been able to do, at least in this series, is get that starter out early and see if that bullpen is as good as Bobby Melvin talks about. We've seen the back end of their bullpen,
right,
but we haven't seen any of the middle guys.
Parmalee takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. Any bullpen is better when the starter goes at least 6, sometimes 7, maybe even 8 innings. Just in case Willingham would take off on 1 and 2 with 2 outs. Got to cover all the angles, all your bases. There's a chance that could have happened. Pulled foul. Look at the scores of the 12-game losing streak. 18-3, 8-2, 8-6, 11-0, 9-1, 11-7, 8-3, 7-4, 6-1. The 3-0 game really stands out. Twins scored the last 5 runs in the 6-5 loss.
So the goal today is allow less than 3 runs to top it.
Down and in. Nice block by Jason. 2-2. You know, you'd think there'd be a 4-3 loss in there someplace where maybe, you know, the A's got a couple in the bottom of the ninth. That's not been the case. It's been bludgeoning. 2-2 to Parmalee. Twins trying to work their way back in front after holding a brief 1-0 lead in the first inning. And now 3-2, and Willingham will be able to leave early. A 2-out walk to Willingham got Parmalee to the plate in the first place, and now it's 3-2 to the right fielder, Eduardo Nunez, on deck. High fastball got him. Parmalee strikes out. Willingham left the board, and it's still 1-1. moments. Was it Danny Santana's 5-hit day against the White Sox last Sunday? Back-to-back home runs, back-to-back-to-back home runs. Or Kenny Vargas' first major league home run at Target Field, which took about a second and a half to get out of the ballpark.
I like them all.
Bottom of the fourth. Phil Hughes hoping for another quick 1-2-3 inning. He starts Moss with a strike on the outside corner. Moss hit by a pitch. Hughes got ahead of him 0-2. Ground ball hit to short right field. Dozier has to hurry. Got him by a half step. That's the danger, of course, of a second baseman playing so deep in the outfield. If it's a slowly hit ground ball, regardless of how fast the batter is, the right fielder or second baseman has to hurry things up a little bit.
We get to watch what Dick was just talking about. Moss runs fairly well. We didn't see the play, but you can see how well Moss got down the line. I always find it so fascinating to watch a fielder's reaction in close plays. I remember as a pitcher, ball he'd be hit down the line. We'd jump and we'd like we were willing it to go foul.
Right.
At it. Of course, we look like idiots, but it's a lot of fun. You're into it.
Vogt fouls it back, 2 strikes. I misspoke before. Vogt started this series by hitting a 2-run home run. His first at bat, not his second at bat. He's driven in 5 runs in the series. What's great about the fan section in right field, to me, and their reaction, I believe in Stephen Vogt, they came up with it. It was a spontaneous thing that they started out there in right field. Vogt had nothing to do with it. The A's organization didn't prompt it. No broadcaster came up with the idea. It's just the fans out there came up with a little bit of a chant for.
Well, that's what makes them such good fans out here. You don't have a lot of the everybody clap your hands stuff. You know, it's they're themselves. They're fans, and you know, I'm kind of curious why Stephen Vogt. Reddick is the right fielder most of the time.
2 down. Reddick lost some fans with his walk-up music. I've heard a Careless Whisper too many times in this 4-game series. He lined out to center to end the first. And Hughes really locked in on the strike zone now. He struggled a little bit in the first inning, but now 53 pitches and 38 strikes, just what the doctor ordered after what we've seen the last couple of nights. And when he misses by fractions of inches.
You see 13 of the 15 first pitch strikes for Phil Hughes. That's just typical Phil Hughes, and as good as it gets.
Missing again outside, 2-1.
The concern is whether the Twins can get him a couple runs while he's still in the game. His pitch count's in great shape. He could be headed toward 7 or 8 innings.
56th pitch, nearly half of them were in the first inning. And he set down 9 men in a row, but now it's 3-1 to Reddick. Hasn't walked anybody. He did hit Moss in the first inning. Popped up. Suzuki can't find it. And it lands on a warning track. He turned around, looked up in the sky, and got blinded by the sun.
Well, you know, they always say, how about your defense? As a pitcher, you're supposed to try to get him to guide. And I think Phil Hughes recognized that the ball was going to stay in play. But what do you tell him? Right, left, back to the warning track? I mean, there's nothing you really can do. You see, as Phil Hughes saw right there, Suzuki threw his hands up, meaning I don't see the ball. By then, it's almost too late to try to guide him to it.
And now Reddick ends up taking a walk after the foul pop is lost in the sun. Our Sanford Health injury report today for Cedar Rapids. Ricky Nolasco made another start, 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs. And we don't know yet. The Twins haven't announced whether he will have one more start on a rehab assignment. Started with 50 pitches. I think that is in the neighborhood of 80. Swing and a foul, 1 strike. We do know that Joe Mauer worked out with the Cedar Rapids Colonels today, driving to the Twin Cities, and the assumption is he'll catch a flight tonight to Houston. He's not here. That's not him. His daughters aren't that old. Up and away. That he'll be in Houston, ready to go tomorrow night when we open up against the Astros.
I think in Ricky Nolasco's case anyway, you really can't. It doesn't all get decided by numbers. You know, what was his velocity? How is he feeling after his first start? Did he have good spin on his breaking ball? You know, those kind of things all come into this decision.
Pop up, and now it's Escobar's turn to fight the sun. Looked like it hit him in the palm of the glove and rolled into the webbing, but it stayed in there for the final out.
Home games, bring your Circle Me signs, and if you get circled, you may find yourself in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle, where you could win $100 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery.
Minnesota native. You spent much time in Duluth?
Yeah, I've been up there a lot.
I love Duluth. I think Duluth is just a wonderful city.
I like it in the fall a lot better than in the spring.
Now batting.
I thought you were going to say the winter.
I do like it in the winter.
Eduardo Nunez will hit for the Twins in the 5th. Eduardo Escobar and Jordan Schaefer will follow. Twins got a first inning home run from Brian Dozier. Strike on the outside corner. The hit by Dozier, the home run, the only hit the Twins have. Bounce to short. Sogard over to Vogt, 1 away, and that'll bring up Escobar.
1 hit, 1 walk, 2 base runners. Excuse me, plus an error. Schaefer reached on an error by the pitcher, Hamill. So the Twins have had 3 base runners.
Of course, the A's have just 2 hits, but as they've done against the Twins many times in this 12-game winning streak, they bunched them together and scored a run in the first. Escobar runs out of the box, takes a strike. Schaefer reached on a bunt attempt, even though it was right back to the pitcher. Hamill bobbled it. And a sharp single to right off the bat of Escobar. That'll bring up Schaefer. Not too late to join the Twins season ticket family this year. You still have time, and even a partial plan holder gets all the benefits of a season ticket holder. You can find out more by visiting twinsbaseball.com or call the number 800-33-TWINS. Schaefer reached on the Hamill error, stole second, and was left there in the third inning.
A few less options with one out than there are with no outs, but you'll see if Gardy maybe gets Escobar going, try to get him in scoring position. You just sense that this is going to be a low scoring game, at least at this point. Both pitchers have been sharp.
In a tie game, you can't blame Ron Gardenhire if he tries to force the issue a little bit here, try to get something going.
Well, it's another way to test a new player he doesn't know that much about. Schaefer, see if he can do a little hit and run.
Popped up. Battling the sun. Vogt giving way to Callaspo. Vogt was preparing to catch it, and the ball came down about 10 feet behind him. 2 down.
That's a case where you call it. You could see Vogt called it. And as it's coming down, he hears out of his right ear his second baseman saying, "I got it," and he's saying, "Thank you."
Yes. Take all of those you want. Watch where Vogt came in to try to catch the ball, and then look where it finally came down. Way back there. Here's Santana. Fouled back. Santana 0 for 2. Fly ball to center in the first and a strikeout in the third. Escobar 1 steal, 2 tries. And a sharp base hit to left. And Escobar goes to second, and Dozier will have another opportunity here. First and second, 2 down. And we will answer our carsoup.com trivia question involving 2020 players, 20 home runs, 20 steals. I got to believe Torrey Hunter did it.
Torrey Hunter, Michael Kadire might have did it. No.
No. In 2004, the third straight division winning team for Ron Gardenhire. Larry Heisel, first guy to do it.
Koski and Cordova. 95 and 01.
Dozier takes a strike on the outside corner. Dozier homered in the first, and then with a runner at second and 2 down, he struck out. Throughout this series, in fact, throughout the 12-game Oakland winning streak, so many 2-out hits for the A's, and not nearly enough for the Twins. And Dozier looks back at Lance Barrett in disbelief. 2 strikes.
One thing I've noticed about Oakland that's kind of different than a lot of clubs is I've been watching the position of the outfielders, and they just don't move at all. They're pretty much straight away. And it's obvious that Lance Barrett has got a very favorable strike zone for the pitchers today. Hitters better get up there and recognize they have to swing the bat.
Dozier takes one just high and outside. Nearly got him to chase a high fastball. Hamill came up and in with a fastball in the first inning. First pitch to Dozier, and he whacked it over the fence and left. 1-2 with 2 men on. Check his swing, 2-2.
Another thing we get to watch so much of from our center field camera is how a catcher sets up. Does he give a good target? You look at some of the catchers in the league, and the one that stands out to me is Salvador Perez, who I think is one of the game's bright future stars and already emerging as one of the best catchers.
Bounce toward the hole. Donaldson cuts it off. That ends the inning. 2 hits are left aboard. And we go to the bottom of the 5th in a tie game. Photo of the game, you can tweet your photo, the hashtag #NorthFanPhoto. It might be shown in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Happy couple. Hoping that the Twins will win a ball game here today.
How do you know they're happy?
Well, they look content.
How do you know if they're even a couple? It could be a brother and sister.
You're right, but I took a leap there.
Okay.
I took a leap. I have a sister that I dearly love, but I've never posed with that placid.
Never ever took a picture with your sister?
No, I didn't say that. With that content expression on my face.
Okay. We'll just leave
But your point is well taken. I should not have assumed. 1-1 to Callaspo. Sogard and then Crisp will follow in the Oakland 5th. I guess what we tried to, the point we tried to make when we showed you the scores of these 12 straight losses, there's been not a shortage, an absence of well-pitched games by the Twins. There hasn't been a game like this. Who knows what the final score of this is going to be. But the Twins are relishing what Hughes has given them so far here today. That's over his head. Dozier, bare hands, flips, good play, but it pulled Vargas off the bag. Vargas couldn't hold a foot on the bag. Dozier's throw in time to get the runner, Callaspo, but it'll go as an infield hit.
Now batting shortstop, number 28, Eric.
Phil Hughes' initial reaction was he's going to leap and catch it, but he immediately understands it's going to get by him. Dozier does everything he can do. Throw just up the baseline towards home plate a little bit. Looked like Vargas could have stayed on a little longer than he did. It's going to go down as a hit, the third hit now for Phil Hughes.
See what Sogard does here. Swinging away, a hot shot up the middle into center field. Callaspo will check in at second. Sogard with a solid hit to center after the chopper for a hit. First and second, nobody out. Chris has hit a pop up to second, a fly ball to center.
Phil Hughes is going to have his hands full right now. He's got 3 guys in a row that are very good contact hitters. You need a ground ball one way or the other. Callaspo does not run all that great for a guy his size. You'd think he runs better than he does. He's at second. Sogard runs very well. Crisp runs very well. Going to be tough to double those 2 guys off, but you need the ground ball right here and try to get a double play.
Strike on the outside corner. Crisp reacts. Hughes has gotten 1 strikeout in each of the first 4 innings. Very well need one here in the 5th if he's going to pitch around this jam. To short center. Santana coming in. 1 away.
That'll work.
3rd time that Crisp has hit the ball in the air for an out. And that'll bring up Sam Fuld.
Now batting center fielder, number 23, Sam Fuld.
Fuld 3 hits in 10 at bats. Getting a lot of playing time for a first place ball club here. He's playing a lot for the Twins. Had a tremendous month of July for Minnesota. Now finds himself here in August and September and almost certainly October playing for a contending team. Popped up on the first pitch. Infield fly rule is called, and I thought maybe a little early. Third base umpire Pat Hoberg put the right arm up, even though Nunez was just spinning around facing the infield. And boy, with a sun like this, I don't know that anything should be taken for granted.
You never know with this kind of bright sky. Either case, a very good pitch again from Phil Hughes. Get 2 quick outs. Now he's got to be careful with Donaldson. He's done a good job of getting those 2 outs. You don't want to give it away now with the best hitter in their lineup.
Over the course of the 4 days here, I've spent probably more time in the Oakland clubhouse than I normally would, because I want to get to know these guys. I don't know that many people do. So many of them were at the All-Star game at Target Field, and they've got the best record in baseball. Fouled away. And had a good team obviously last year as well. And in meeting a lot of them, spending some time with them over the course of this weekend, they remind me a lot of the early Gardenhire teams 12, 13 years ago. A lot of I don't say wild, distinct personalities.
Unique. You like that?
Yeah. Fouled back. A very fun-loving, free-spirited bunch. And you think back to the teams in the 2002, 3, and 4 era with the Pierzynskis, Guardados, Hunters, Jones, so on and so forth. I mean, they got a lot of that kind of vibe on this team. 1-2 to Donaldson. Now 2-2. Hughes has found himself in a situation here in the 5th. 1 good pitch away from getting out of it.
I think there's so much to be said about team chemistry and allowing, as a manager, allowing each individual to have his own character, be himself, and yet you win together, and it builds a lot of love. It really does.
Nice job by Phil Hughes, striking out Donaldson, pitching around a couple of singles that opened up the 5th inning. On to the 6th, still tied at 1. tied at 1. Our Diet Dew fans of the game wearing their Twins caps. A bright sunny day in the Bay Area here. Twins hoping to retake the lead here in the 6th. And it's Kurt Suzuki, their third place hitter. If you just joined us, Trevor Plouffe fouled a ball off his foot in last night's game. Played through the balance of the game, but is out of the lineup today, very sore, and he hopes that now that the x-rays prove there's no break, he'll be ready to go tomorrow. Oswaldo Arcia swinging here the other night, tweaked something in his back. His activity's been limited. He was hoping to take some swings in the cage today. Twins essentially playing with a one-man bench. Backup catcher Eric Fryer. 2-1. Will head back to the central time zone to take on the Astros, and that in and of itself is a good thing. The Twins have not done well against Western teams this year. Bouncer to short. Sogard has an easy play. 1 down. Now on FoxSportsNorth.com, view a photo gallery of the series with the A's. Read Tim Laudner's take in our Twins weekend feature and get the latest from Brian Hall at Vikings training camp. Vargas, the batter, a fly to center and a strikeout. Twins won the season series with the Mariners, including taking 3 out of 4 up in Seattle. And they won the season series with the Padres, winning 2 in San Diego, 1 of 2 in Minnesota. To Hopper to the first baseman. Hamill covering, 2 down. Other than that, it's been a whitewash against Western teams in either league. Swept by the Dodgers so far, swept by the A's, swept by the Angels in Anaheim. They'll have another shot at the Angels. Swept by the Giants out here.
Josh Willingham.
2 down in the 6th. Willingham.
Twins are just 8-18 against the West this year.
Willingham ducks away from a breaking ball. It's left up high, ball 1. Yeah, Twins are 13-15 against the American League East. About as soft a division as it's been in maybe since the division into 3 divisions in the American League. Winning record in the Central. 1-0. And now 1-1.
But you'll wonder why are the Oakland A's so balanced? Well, they have a winning record at home, on the road, against the East, against the Central, against the West, and in interleague play. They just win in every aspect of the game.
So it's not just the Twins. They've been very good against everybody in every combination. It's just that they run off a dozen straight. Sogard backhands it and throws him out. A 1-2-3-6 for Jason Hamill. Is presented by Toyota. The annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's, where right now you can score a delicious, creamy McCafe iced coffee starting at just $1.59. One apiece, bottom of the sixth, middle of the Oakland lineup. Brandon Moss, Stephen Vogt, and Josh Reddick. First pitch with Moss trying to spin on one, and he fouls it straight back.
Twins have got the shift on for Moss again. Dozier out there in short right field. Escobar directly behind second base on the second baseman side of it.
Hughes missed the inside corner, 1-1. Pop up back into the seats, 1-2. The A's have done well against everybody. They have struggled against the Tigers, winning just 2 of the 7 games, but they have 10 games left with the Angels, the team that's closest to them in the division. The Angels went 19 innings last night with Boston before winning on a Pujols home run. And they're scoreless in the 7th with the Red Sox today. 2-2. And another pop-up back and out of play. 19 innings, the longest home game in Anaheim history. It was reviewed. It was a home run. And they were running to get off the field to get home because they had a day game today. Now 3-2 to the leadoff man here in the 6th. What was the longest game you ever played in?
I don't remember. I announced one last year in San Diego. Blue Jays Padre game, 17 inning. 5-hour, 24-minute. Lovely little evening down there in San Diego.
Swing and a miss. Moss strikes out. 1 down. Let's check in with Marty Gellner.
Guys, I spoke to Phil Hughes about his previous start, which was Tuesday against San Diego. He told me that his stuff in that start he felt like was as good as it's been all year. But the one thing he was not happy with was his pitch count. He threw 99 pitches in 9 innings. He said that was higher than I would have liked. I could have been more efficient, and I wanted to pitch deeper into that game. So now here we are into the 6th inning now for Phil Hughes, and his pitch count is at 81. So this afternoon, he's been more efficient against the A's, which was what he wanted to do.
To that end, I'm sure he and everybody else a little concerned after the first inning when he threw 26 pitches.
Well, you mentioned, Dick, he's had a strikeout every inning.
Got a strikeout here in the 6th, and now a ground out, 2 down. We'll bring up Reddick. If you need to replace the flip-flops you've worn out this summer, the Twins are there for you. First 10,000 fans at the game August 20th when the Twins take on the Indians. We'll get some Twins flip-flops presented by the Beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel. You can call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. 2 down quickly here in the 6th, and now Reddick lined out to center and drew a walk. High fly to right. Parmalee with the catch. Good inning for Phil Hughes as we take a 1-1 game now into the 7th. Grand Casino story of the game will run apiece, and they came early.
Brian Dozier lead a home run back at the first inning, and right back at it. Stephen Vogt drives in a run, scoring Sam Full to tie the game. Back in the first inning, both runs scored, and it's been all pitching since. Jason Hamill allowing just 3 hits over 6 innings. He's been very sharp. And his mound opponent, Phil Hughes, equally as sharp, giving up just 4 hits, getting out of a couple jams. It's been all pitching in this game.
And now in the 7th, it'll be Parmelee, Nunez, and Escobar facing Hamill. Parmelee with a warning track fly ball in the 2nd, went down swinging in the 4th. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. In Toronto, they're going to the 13th inning, tied at 5. Kansas City beat San Francisco 7-4. Cleveland beat the Yankees 4-1. The Indians get back to the 500 mark with that win. Seattle leading the White Sox 3-0. Dribbler up the line, picked up by Vogt to the bag, 1 away. And now Nunez.
So Kansas City ends up sweeping that series at home, right?
Yeah.
Against San Francisco. That's not an easy task.
When we were out here to play the Giants earlier this year, the Giants were as hot then as the A's are now. Giants looked like they were going to be very tough for the Dodgers or anybody else to catch. And now the Giants are trailing coming into play today by 3.5 games. Nunez grounds it foul. Dodgers have beaten Milwaukee 5-1. And with the Giants' loss, it's now 4.5 games separating the top two teams in the National League West. And swing by Nunez, 0-2.
I guess if you could write the script, you would want your team to be playing good ball, solid baseball all summer. You don't want to go through ups and downs or long slumps in any category of the game, but you really hope that come August and late September you're starting to crank it up a little bit and your team's really coming together. Everybody stays healthy and get ready for the playoffs.
Rocket to left on an 0-2 pitch. And Hamill with his hands on his hips, upset with the outcome there. He had Nunez 0-2 and made him look bad on strike 2. And then Nunez put the barrel of the bat on the ball for a 1-out single.
Watch how Nunez goes out after that ball. That ball is a pitcher's pitch, down and away. And you say to yourself as a pitcher, how could you hit it? Well, he was looking for it, I guess.
4 hits for the Twins, 3 singles, and Dozier's home run. Escobar singled his last time up. A lot of times we've seen the Twins score late against the A's to make it close. Now, late runs might lead the team to a win. Twins scored 5 runs in the 7th here the other night. Looked like it was going to be a blowout game, turned into a 6-5 nail biter. There goes Nunez on the first pitch, and he will steal handily.
Nunez has good speed, and Gardy's trying to get something going with that stolen base. Now Escobar has a chance to knock in the go-ahead run.
Not only did he steal it, Jack, but he stole it on the first pitch.
Yeah, and that's a good time. Just catch him off guard. Good acceleration right there by Eduardo Nunez.
Well, it's got to make a lot of difference to the hitter, though, too. Now you know what the situation is. The guy's in scoring position rather than, if he steals on the 4th pitch, whatever the count is, 3-1, 2-2.
Well, it's all in your mindset of what is scoring position. I know a lot of hitters like Kirby Puckett thought when he was in the batter's box he was in scoring position.
Ryan Cook and Fernando Abad in the Oakland bullpen. 1-1. Hit to the outfield. Should put the Twins in front. Fouled back. I've said from time to time, one of the things I like to look at is assess the production that a hitter has is take a look at the at bats and see if he has one extra base hit every 10 at bats or less. And Escobar right there, he's got 316 at bats and 32 extra base hits, 29 of them doubles. One and two. That gets to the backstop. That barely made it onto the dirt. Landing about 5 feet in front of the plate, and it hopped over Jaso's shoulder. A very wild pitch.
Well, this is the old worm killer right here. Not much Jaso could do with it. Like you mentioned, Dick, it short hopped so close to the mound that it took a very high hop right over the shoulder of Jaso, and he's going to come out and have a little discussion with his pitcher.
Well, the infield in now. A quick trip to the mound has been paid by Jaso. And Escobar with a 2-2 count, trying to get Nunez in from third. Foul tip, got to pitch up, trying to loft it deep enough in the outfield.
The scouting report, if you're, and it's no secret, I think everybody realizes that Eduardo Escobar likes the ball down better than he likes the ball up. The last time up, he hit a slider down and in, got a base hit.
A little bit high, 3-2.
You can see that Hamill and Jaso are working, trying to get Escobar to chase up in the zone. The last two pitches been fastballs up. Escobar got a piece of the previous one.
Full count to Escobar. Down and in, he draws a walk, and we'll see if that forces a move here with the left-hand hitting Schaefer coming up, and a left-hander warmed up in the bullpen.
Just the second walk of the game from Jason Hamill.
And Schaefer will have a chance here, apparently against Hamill. Tried to bunt his way aboard. Hamill made an error, and Schaefer reached. And a pop up in the fifth. Big spot here for the newest Twin.
Your manager, Bob Melvin, this is a tough decision right here. You've got your starters probably having the best game he's had since joining the Oakland A's. You want him to get out of a mess. He's pitched a great ball game. He's only walked two guys, given up 4 hits. And yet you have so much confidence in your bullpen. You know that it's going to be a low-scoring game, so what do you do? This point, he's going to, well, here he comes, so maybe he is going to.
Yeah, they're just buying some time. Hamill took the game into the 7th inning, but a base hit, stolen base, wild pitch, walk have created a situation here, and Bob Melvin will bring in the left-hander Abad to face Jordan Schaefer. Again, the Twins have really no options from the bench. Left-hander he'll be facing. Fernando Abad. 53rd game for Abad. His numbers, like everybody else, it seems, out of the Oakland bullpen, very, very good.
You mentioned the numbers for Jordan Schaefer against left-handers. They're not very impressive, so he's going to have to try to do something he's had a tough time doing.
1 for 17 this year against left-handed pitching, with 7 strikeouts and 4 walks.
Just no options for Ron Gardenhire. His only bench player really is Eric Fryer, backup catcher.
Now batting, number 1, Jordan Schaefer.
And Schaefer will come up with the go-ahead run at third, another runner at first, and 1 away. Rod giving up a 197 batting average to left-handed batters. He has 1 RBI as a Twin. This would be a bigger one. Off the plate with a breaking ball. A's have 3 left-handed relievers. Eric O'Flaherty, Abad, and their closer, Sean Doolittle. 1-0. Schaefer fouls it back on a fastball. Infield still playing in out of respect, I suppose, to Schaefer's speed. Not playing back for an inning-ending double play, knowing that Schaefer runs so well, they might not get that. Rather than try that and concede the go-ahead run, they'll play the infield in here. Schaefer jabs at it, and now Nunez is hung out between third and home. Twins put on a squeeze play, even a safety squeeze, it appeared. And Schaefer missed the ball. Escobar goes to second. One and 2.
Well, it's not a suicide because you see that Nunez didn't break right away, but he's caught.
That's got to be on the runner, isn't it? I mean, if it's a safety squeeze,
you got to wait to see if the ball's hit on the ground.
Yeah, you got to put it in play, and if it's not, you got to hold your water.
Right. His reaction was he thought. That's a tough thing for a hitter or for a base runner to recognize that, but you've got to get it down.
Threat inning over, and we go to the bottom of the 7th, tied at 1. programs that may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC. Eduardo Nunez trapped off third base on a safety squeeze. We saw Schaefer, I think it was in the San Diego series at home, having a tough time getting the bunt down, so you can understand why they put the safety squeeze on, but then it's incumbent on the runner at third to, as you said, make sure that the ball is put down on the ground before you come home.
You get another look at this, and you see it from Nunez's angle there. You've got to wait for that ball to be on the ground before you give up any indication that you're going to make a move, and Nunez was just getting caught up in the moment. He broke towards home. Jaso did a great job of recognizing it, getting the ball quickly over to Donaldson at third base, who just ran him down.
Jaso with 2 quick strikes. Hughes has been great here today. He's held the top scoring lineup in the major leagues to 1 run. Just outside 1-2. Jaso, Cayaspo, and Sogard due up. Got by Suzuki. But again, you get back to the injury situation. Once Abad was brought in, he's got the big breaking ball. That can't be an easy pitch to bunt. And there wasn't an option. You had a guy who's struggled against left-handed pitching, 1 for 17. So it made all the sense in the world for the Twins to put the play on that they put on.
Well, Bob Melvin, smart guy. He knows all those numbers. He's understands too that Gardy doesn't have any bench players really. So he goes with a left-hander who's had great results against left-handers. Managers both trying to do what they can there. It's been a pitcher's game on both sides.
And Nunez now will try to track down this pop-up. What a play by Nunez. He sprinted after the ball and caught it just as he got to the warning track. A fine play for the first out of the 7th inning. You have to have, as a corner infielder here, some speed to make plays like this.
Well, that's at least a 75-yard dash for him, and it's a sprint. And it's almost like we talked about with Danny Santana in center field. You know that a wall's coming up. It could be the tarp, it could be the padding, but you know something's coming up, and yet in this sun, you cannot take your eye off the ball for a second. That's just a great play.
1 down in the 7th, and now Cayaspo. On the outside corner, Cayaspo singled. Get a little chopper over the mound. Dozier made a nice play. His throw off a little bit. Vargas pulled his foot for an infield hit. And now 2 strikes. He is the closest thing the Twins have to a stopper type, and he hopes to stop the losing streak to Oakland here. And there's strike 3. And we've seen this early in the season. Hughes with a little left in the tank in the 7th and 8th inning. 2 down.
Well, Phil Hughes done everything. Perfect pitch right there. He's able to start spotting his fastball. We mentioned that he's had at least 1 strikeout in every inning, and that shows his consistency. Pitch count now becoming one of the factors in how long Phil Hughes will be out there. He's approaching 100 pitches.
Sogard lifts it to right, and it is a quick 7th inning, a 1-2-3 inning, 3rd time through the order. Phil Hughes is perfect. Wouldn't that be something? With the Tigers fading, there was a time, I think, in early June when Kansas City moved into first place ahead of the Tigers. Tigers had their wake-up call, and then they pushed the lead out to, 5 or 6 games in a hurry. We'll get a look at the Oakland bullpen. Luke Gregerson coming in. Another reliever with a sub-2 ERA.
He pitched last in the second game of this series. 1 inning. No hits or runs.
Tigers get out of the 13th inning. They'll head to the 14th, still tied at 5. Twins will send the top of the order up here. Santana, Dozier, and Suzuki.
Casey Fiend getting up and throwing now in the Twins bullpen. I don't know if that is precautionary or if Bill Hughes' day may be done.
Right now just playing catch short of the bullpen mound. Santana takes ball 1. He singled his last time up. Drove a sharp single to left in the 5th inning.
We would hope that the Twins could get a couple runs here for Phil, that he might have an inning left in him. He seemed to be cruising through the 7th.
Santana, strike on the outside corner. Now Fiend gets onto the bullpen mound like he's going to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Santana with a bunt. Safe at first. He outran the play. That ball was bunted just outside the dirt area, and Jaso.
Somebody was calling foul ball. I don't know who it was. It was the home plate umpire or what.
Santana's at first. Bob Melvin coming out to talk to Brian Gorman. Someone was calling, I thought I heard dead ball.
You see right there, Danny Santana definitely beats the ball out.
So I have no idea what was said on the field. The visit to first base was simply to buy enough time for the replay to show that Santana did in fact beat it out, a bunt single, but it wasn't even that good of a bunt. That's how fast this guy is. I mean, Jaso came out of the dirt area and fielded it.
Yeah,
about 20 feet from home plate.
Not very far from home plate, just on the grass. But Danny, by that time, is already halfway down the line and accelerating. Jaso just took a little too long to get rid of the ball.
And Dozier bunts it foul. When Nunez delivered a 1-out single in the 7th, he stole second on the very next pitch and set up the inning for the Twins, even though they didn't take advantage of it. Dozier homered in the 1st. Since then, a strikeout with a runner at 2nd and a ground out with runners at 1st and 2nd. So another RBI opportunity here in the 8th if he can deliver an extra base hit.
We'll see if Gregerson holds Santana on. Guardy might just have him straight stealing.
There he goes. And the ball dropped by Jaso. It's another stolen base. And a 1-1 count to Dozier.
Well, there he is. He's in scoring position. It's up to Dozier, Suzuki, or Vargas to drive him in.
Seen the Twins do more stealing here in August. Ball game the other day where they stole 4 bases. One and 1 to Dozier. There's a bunt foul. Dozier bunted it with some backspin. And this is one of those at bats now where the idea is for him to get Santana over, not necessarily with a bunt, but Dozier thought that was his best shot at getting Santana to 3rd.
Well, get him to 3rd base. Less than 2 outs. The fly ball to the outfield will score the go-ahead run.
Dozier very much a pull hitter. It's not natural for him to hit a ground ball to the right side.
He'll get one more strike now to do something with it.
Popped up center field. Full does not have a great arm. Santana setting up for a tag, but it's just a bluff. Full doesn't have a great arm. He made one of the best catches and throws of the year here last weekend. One down.
Now that ball just not hit far enough, not deep enough. And he does get rid of the ball quickly, right to the shortstop.
Now Suzuki 0 for 3. Amidst all the difficulty with men in scoring position, Suzuki has been one of the better clutch hitters on this Twins team. Inside corner, strike one.
Ball started right at his knee and broke, kind of a front door breaking ball, broke in, caught the inside corner.
That kicks away from Jaso. Santana to third. And that'll bring the infield in with one out.
Now there's the break the Twins needed. Now they have to capitalize on it. Suzuki can just lift the ball to normal depth in the outfield or a base hit. That'll score Santana easily.
So with the drawn in infield, they have essentially the same situation minus the runner at first base. Suzuki, of course, a much better contact hitter than Jordan Schaefer. Santana bluffs. Gregerson steps off. Check to swing.
You just don't see this too much either. Gregerson prefers to throw out of the windup with the runner at third base. So many relief pitchers in today's game will never do that. They pitch out of the stretch every single pitch.
Very aware of Santana at third. And a ball driven to left center field. It is deep and high off the wall. Suzuki delivers an RBI double, and the Twins lead it 2-1.
Kurt Suzuki coming through again in the clutch right there. Gets a pitch to hit. Otero leaves that one up and over the plate. Just drives it into left. A lot of smiles in the Twins dugout right there. And just crushes that ball. Great at bat for Kurt Suzuki.
You wonder how much impact the wild pitch had in that. Santana bluffing down the line, and Gregerson, as he was delivering his pitches to Suzuki, not once but twice, would look at the runner during his windup. Vargas takes outside a ball.
The end result would have been the same. No question that Santana would have scored from second base on that ball.
Swing and a miss. Vargas chases 1-1. The Twins had a 1-0 lead after a half an inning, and now a late one-run lead. 1-1 to Vargas. Takes outside. 2-1. Oh for 3 today. Fly ball, a ground ball, and a strikeout. ball away from Vargas. And a foul ball, 2-2. A bunt single and Santana speed, leading to a go-ahead run here in the 8th. Him out, came inside with a breaking ball, 2 down. That'll bring up Willingham.
Now batting, number 16, Josh Willingham.
Santana, a factor on the bases, and then we'll see if it's a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead or more for Casey Fiend. Just off the plate, ball 1. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
Very important runner at second base, too. Just don't want to try to get through the A's lineup 2 times in a row with just a 1-run lead. They're a good team.
Inside, 2-0.
Josh Willingham has an opportunity to pick up the second run, a very important insurance run.
Gregerson gives Hughes here on, or excuse me, a Willingham here on 2-0. Check swing on the outside corner, 2-1. 55 and a third innings, only 3 home runs allowed. More impressively, only 43 now hits allowed. The bunt single and the RBI double by Suzuki. Two and 1. A blast to left. Moss back. Gone. A home run for Willingham. And Willingham connects, not on the 2-0 pitch, but on the 2-1 pitch.
That's one way of picking up that insurance run, by adding one to it. Mistake pitch for Gregerson right there, and Willingham made him pay. Just the hanging slider, and I can attest that they go a long way.
A 3-run 8th. And now Parmelee with the bases empty. I just like, I mean, it's great to have a 2-run home run, obviously. I just like how this inning started with Santana bunting for a hit.
Stealing second.
Stealing second. And you get a clutch hit from Suzuki, and then the bomb.
Yep. Oh, it's a very good inning for the Twins. A very needed inning. Phil Hughes has pitched a great ball game. You'll have an opportunity to get the win now. And the Twins just haven't had any kind of success like this against Oakland all year long.
Willingham, of course, played a year here in Oakland before signing with the Twins. Two and 0 to Parmelee. And a strike. Two and 2.
Jesse Chavez is throwing now in Oakland's pen. Casey Fiend ready to start the bottom half of the 8th inning against Oakland. He's been throwing for quite some time in the Twins pen. Here's Chavez.
Harmony to center. Fold with the catch. That ends it. A couple of former A's with some big run-producing hits here in the 8th. First Suzuki and then Willingham. Six outs to go. Top of the Oakland order here in the 8th against Casey Fiend, starting with Coco Crisp. And the first pitch over for a strike. Crisp, Fold, and Donaldson. Two strikes.
Casey Fiend coming in and doing what he does so often, pounding the strike zone, challenging the hitters. You've got 3-run cushion. You cannot afford to do anything but that. Make them hit their way on. Now with 2 strikes, you can expand the strike zone, see if you can get Coco to chase something. Can afford to waste a pitch or 2.
Just missed the corner. What an effort by Phil Hughes. He's leaving the dugout, walking to the clubhouse. And he gave the Twins something they desperately needed, and that is a good start against this red-hot Oakland team. Grounded right side, and it'll leak through for a base hit. And Crisp is aboard with a leadoff single.
Here's what Phil Hughes did today. 7 innings of 4-hit baseball, allowing just the 1 run and 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. He had it working. Kind of felt like he was the guy to be able to get the job done. You didn't know that Jason Hamill was going to match him for 6+ innings. Both starters did a great job. Phil Hughes stands to win this game.
Fold the batter. 1 for 3. Away, ball 1. Fold singled and scored in the first inning. Stole a base. get in scoring position. Back in the first inning. 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2. Fiend had that awful outing in Chicago back on August 1st. Since then, 3 scoreless outings, each an inning apiece. A hit allowed in 2 of them. Got ahead of Crisp, and now he's ahead of Fold.
Just doesn't want that tying run to come to the plate. Josh Donaldson would represent that if Sam Fold could reach.
Popped up to right field. Harmony comes in. Yeah, he was doing whatever he could. He had the sunglasses on, using the brim of his cap and his bare hand to try to shield the sun up until the very last instant. 1 down.
Had it in the bag. Absolutely. Never took his eyes off it.
And now Josh Donaldson. Donaldson 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts today. A lot of swings and misses from Josh Donaldson today. Going to the bottom of the 15th in Toronto, still tied at 5 between Detroit and the Blue Jays.
I figure if Boston and LA could do it last night, why not them?
Tigers putting both Anibal Sanchez and Joakim Soria on the disabled list today. One with I saw the word, and I've never seen the word before. I'll mispronounce it almost certainly. Pectoralitis, I believe. Sore chest muscle. And then an oblique. Here's a ball driven to right center field. Santana cuts it off. It'll go for a single. Donaldson hitting it to the opposite field for a 1-out single. First and third, 1 down for Brandon Moss.
Moss will represent the tying run now. Coco Crisp reading that ball, finally seeing that it's going to get between Parmelee and Santana. And he reaches third easily. So Casey Fiend's got to work himself out of a little bit of a mess here.
Moss 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning.
Now Glenn Perkins is getting up and starting to loosen up. He might be asked to get more than a 1-inning save.
Outside ball 1. Behind Moss, a couple of left-handed batters, Vogt and Redding. Brian Dunsing getting loose down there.
Yeah, those lefties, they kind of all look the same.
1-0. Popped up. And Nunez won't be able to catch this one.
Sean Doolittle throwing now alongside a right-hander in the Oakland bullpen, just in case they could come back. And it's still Jesse Chavez throwing, the right-hander.
right on the outside corner, 1-2. Playing the infield, of course, a double play depth here. Two and two. Moss with nearly 400 at bats has only grounded into 4 double plays. Vogt on deck. Swing and a miss. 2 away.
Huge strikeout right there for Casey Fiend. Second out of the inning.
And now Stephen Vogt, who's had an impactful series, comes up. His first at bat, he hit a home run, and he's driven in 5 runs in this series.
You got to be careful with this guy. He's got the power to drive the ball out of the ballpark. And he's had a good series so far for Oakland.
Driven to center, Santana over for the catch, and Fiend strands a couple of singles, and it's a 3-run lead as we go to the 9th. The A's 4-1 as we go to the 9th, hoping to end a 12-game losing streak to the Athletics. Going to the 9th inning, Jesse Chavez, former starter, will pitch for the A's against the Twins in the bottom third of their lineup.
Jesse Chavez started a game earlier against the Twins at Target Field, and he has been since shipped to the bullpen.
Eduardo Nunez 1 for 3, and Eduardo Escobar 1 for 2, and then Jordan Schaefer all hit here in the 9th. Felt high strike. One and one. And now 1 and 2. Nunez singled in the 7th on an 0-2 pitch. Stole second Went to third on a wild pitch and then was trapped off third on a safety squeeze attempt. A little bit low.
Left-hander Glenn Perkins throwing in the Twins pen. He'll be asked to come in and finish off this game in the 9th inning.
Home to the screen. Two and two to the leadoff man here in the ninth. Another foul back.
You get a kick out of Nunez. That's the second time this year. He looks at the pitcher and calls timeout instead of putting his hand back towards the umpire.
To save time, here's a drive to right. Eliminate the middleman. One down. RBI Baseball's back with all 30 teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today on your console and mobile devices. They're heading to the 16th inning at the Rogers Center. Still tied at 5. Escobar fouls it. 1 strike.
Well, 2 more is a doubleheader. A lot of baseball.
Tigers are left with Patrick McCoy, who's pitched 3 innings out of the bullpen. And Nathan is the only available left-hander or reliever that they have in the hopes that they'll at some point take a lead. 2 strikes to Escobar. And a ball. Angels are losing to the Red Sox 3-1. That's of some importance here in Oakland. Tapped foul over by the Twins dugout. Over by the Oakland dugout.
Good at bat right here by Escobar. Being able to make contact on those nasty pitcher's pitches.
And another foul. The A's so deep in an area of need for many teams like the Twins, starting pitching to the point where they've got Chavez pitching out of their bullpen. They sent Tommy Malone down to Sacramento before trading him to the Twins for Sam Fuld.
Partly because they acquired those 2 guys,
yeah.
John Lester and Jeff Samardzija.
1 and 2. 2 and 2. The Twins had 3 bad losses here. A nice comeback Friday night. And it was a competitive 3-0 game. There you see the pitch about 6 inches outside. 2 and 2. And Escobar having quite a battle here. But, you know, the fact is the Twins stepped in here with a lineup that is filled with prospects like Santana and Vargas and Parmalee and Schaefer, guys like that. And they ran into 3 all-star pitchers in the first 3 games. There's a called 3rd strike. 2 down. Eventually, the Twins will appear on your TV screens tomorrow night from Houston, and it'll be Tommy Malone making his Twins debut against Brad Peacock. The numbers posted by Malone pitching for the Oakland A's here. Had one good start for AAA Rochester. And the Twins, after the game last night, traded Kevin Correa to the Dodgers for a player to be named later.
A lot of rumors before the All-Star game about the Twins trying to trade Correa. And once they acquired Malone, I think the urgency became a little greater.
Chopper over the mound. A nice pick off by the shortstop Sogar, but no chance to get Schaefer. He has his first hit. Talking on the last road trip about Schaefer and where he kind of fits into the Twins' future. I think the Twins want to get more athletic, quicker, faster, and Schaefer fits the bill. He sent a chopper right over the mound. There was no chance that Sogard was going to throw him out. He runs very well.
Sogard is a very good athlete himself. He's made a couple fabulous plays in this series, and he shouldn't even have got to that ball, but almost a slower runner, he would have probably got him.
3-run eighth was started by a bunt single by Danny Santana, who led off the inning. He stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, scored on Suzuki's double. Willingham hit a 2-run home run, and that's how the Twins forged their 4-1 lead. 1-1. Two more hits for Santana today. That's to left and down the line. Moss has a long run. He won't get there. It bounces sideways, but he's able to gather it in. Third straight hit now for Santana. That's the type of player I think he's going to be. He has picked up 3 more hits here today at a time when he'd had a couple of frustrating at-bats in a row, and then you look up by game's end and he's got a bunt single, a line drive single, and a little flare to the opposite field.
I'm not sure we can say enough. And yeah, this is one of those hits that you as a pitcher you're not real proud of, but hitters will take it because tomorrow it looks like a line drive, and Santana just does everything. He's just been great for the Twins. A huge addition offensively, defensively, energy. He's a quiet kid. He's welcomed in the clubhouse. And why wouldn't you be when you contribute the way he has been?
1 strike. And a ball. Dozier with a home run in the first inning. Since then, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball. He's come up in RBI situations in every at bat since the first, when he created his own run batted in. 2-1. The home run is 20th of the year. Three and 1. Suzuki on deck. Ball 4 fills him up. So with 2 outs, 2 singles and a walk, and a chance for Suzuki to bust the game open. Comes Kurt Young, the Oakland pitching coach. Suzuki nearly hit a home run in the 8th inning. He hit a drive to left center that hit about 3 feet maybe from the top of the wall.
If that.
Santana scored easily from third, and then Willingham cleared the wall. Strike on the outside corner.
A little unusual dimensions of this ballpark since they changed the outfield with the addition of the football press box up there in the big stands, in that the power alleys have 2 layers of fence. Down the line and straightaway center, you've got one fence about 9-10 feet tall, and it's double that in the power alleys. But the fences do come back in 362 to both alleys.
Suzuki with a couple of strikes called. Went back out there again. If that pitch had been called a strike, Suzuki would have had a big issue with Lance Barrett. See where the other pitches were. Suzuki convinced that strike 2 wasn't in the strike zone. 1 and 2. Flip foul into the seats.
Sometimes as a pitcher you have to recognize if an umpire is giving you a pitch off the plate, and if he is, you just got to keep throwing it there. You know, you're going to watch hitters complain and complain and complain, but if the umpire is willing to give it to you and you can show him that you're going to be able to put it there, you're going to get that pitch called again and again.
1 and 2. Now they set up inside on Suzuki, and he snaps his bat in a low little roller to third, bobbled by Donaldson. Donaldson playing a deep third base, and they came into Suzuki's kitchen and shattered his bat. Donaldson trying to hurry, couldn't field it, and I suspect Suzuki will get credit for an infield hit.
That's got to be a hit. There's no way Donaldson's going to get an error on that. It's a bang bang play, but yeah, this bat died a hero. Just shattered in his hands. That's called getting in the kitchen right there, but not going to happen when your third baseman is playing so deep and then has a tough time transferring the ball to his throwing hand. It's a base hit and an RBI.
Got a call here, partner. Haven't made a call in a long time.
Here we go. Everybody on your feet.
1-0 to Vargas. Chavez given up 13 home runs in 130 innings. And now inside 2-0, no place to put him. All of this has happened with 2 outs. Nunez flied out. Escobar struck out after a long at bat, and then Schaefer with his infield hit. Santana with his flare, a walk, an infield hit, and now 3-0.
And I believe now,
Vargas.
With that run scored, it will not be a safe situation.
That's
for
correct.
Glenn Perkins with the 4-run lead, but he will pitch the 9th regardless.
Vargas will get a free run batted in with Chavez issuing a bases loaded walk. Coming in from third, Santana. So 3 runs in the 8th and 2 so far here in the 9th. 5 straight batters have reached. This happened last Sunday in Chicago. The Twins are ready to set up a save opportunity for Perkins, and then the Twins had a 9-run 9th inning. Here's Willingham, homered his last time up. 1 strike.
Well, a good day for the Twins in a lot of different departments, but especially knowing that Gardy's really has no bench what to speak of. Eric Fryer, the backup catcher, the only guy that could have played in this game.
1-1. We talked about it a few innings ago. Well, the Twins have done a nice job, even though they've had some poor starts, scoring late, making games close. But it's really important to score late when you've got a low-scoring ball game like the one here today. You're in the game. You're not fighting to get your way back into the game. It's a 1-1 game, and then when you score late, well, now chances are you're going to win a ball game. 1-2. Outside 2-2. took foul, and chasing it is Vogt, but he has no play. On a 2-1 pitch, a hanging slider was sent a long way. Two and 2 to Willingham. That's hit to short center. And Callaspo makes the catch. Twins tack on 2 more in the ninth. It's a 5-run lead. Twins hoping to get out of town with a win. Nice gong right as Willingham crashed a 2-run home run on our replay sequence there. A couple of former A's players coming back to haunt the A's here today, and Glenn Perkins in a non-save situation will make his first appearance of this 4-game series. Gomes pinch hitting for Josh Reddick. Perkins had a blown save in his last outing, the final game of the little 2-game homestand with the Padres. Gave up a walk and a hit. Padres came back to win that game in 10 innings on the Seth Smith home run off of Anthony Swarzak. They'll play at least 17 innings in Toronto, still tied at 5. Gomes, then Fryman, another Oakland pinch hitter, will hit. Popped up. Dozier fighting the sun and tumbling to make the catch. 1 down.
He stayed with it. It wasn't exactly picturesque.
But when you're staring up into the sun and it's a taller pop-up, that's even more time when you're trying to squint and track the ball.
Glenn Perkins had no idea where that ball was.
He looked up and had what happened to Suzuki on the foul pop a couple innings ago. 1 down.
They just tell pitchers get off the mound, get out of the way anyway.
What a catch by Nunez! Sprawling toward the line, he made a catch for out number 2.
Pinch hitter Nate Fryman comes up to the plate and lines a drive right to the right of Nunez. What a great play that was.
2 quick outs on just 4 pitches. Two down, and now Alberto Callaspo. Strike one. And now a ball. Vargas will chase it down by the bullpen mound. No chance. This awful stretch the Twins have had against Oakland hadn't even gotten started a year ago. The Twins won a game September 10th at Target Field against Oakland, then lost the next two. And then a week and a half later lost all 4 games here. And every other game so far this year. Swing and a miss. And the losing streak to Oakland is over in rather convincing fashion. And Jack, we can no longer talk about Oakland's dominance in terms of a winning streak against the Twins.
Well, it was all about Phil Hughes today. He grabbed the bull by the horns and said, not on my watch. Just pitched a fabulous game. This Oakland team is a very good ball club. And they pitched well. It was all pitching through the first 6 or 7 innings. Twins bullpen does a nice job, and the Twins come through with some timely hitting. And like you said, Dick, you're close. You don't let the game get out of hand, and then you come through with some key hits, and it makes a whole different attitude now that Twins can enjoy the plane ride down to Houston.
Anthony, in a sense, bookend wins. The Twins won the first game of the season series last year and the last game of the season series this year, and we'll no longer talk about the games in between.
He's stranded 7.